Hello everyone and welcome to another week in yet another short hiatus. That's kind of what's been happening for the last few months or so, but not really much I can do between papers needing to be written and then sickness coming and render me incapable of, well, really streaming as such. Anyway, finally back again, and it's time for some Siege, which was also what we were playing last time. Joining me for today are Prentice 1215.
So I think I figured it out. As funny as it would be for Fuse to be chasing a hostage to the eternal flame of the Siege Olympics, what it's probably going to be, it's probably going to be Capitao with his flame bolt shooting it into the thing, because that just actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah, you're right.
Hello,
about
everyone.
that. Yeah, only Prentice joining today, since we'll probably start with that even. This was kind of a last-minute plan, so to speak, which is why it's just compared to last Siege stream where we had a full squad at the beginning. Part of it is, well, I had a few ideas. One of them including this Road to 6 Invitational 2020 event. Oh, that immediately queued up. Oh well. Had some other ideas, but nothing set in stone. And honestly, I think this probably is the best thing to do for this weekend, since well, I'm not gonna go into the big detail of here's my thought process behind the scenes. It's just one of those. I had some ideas for something else, but I think it wouldn't have worked, or it would work better sometime else. Anyway, the reason why this was kind of
That's Blitz? What?
Yep, that's his Olympics skin, I guess. Hold on, no, not on my watch.
Yeah, what are you doing trying to ban Thatcher? Who bans Thatcher?
So considering you're surprised by the skins, or rather Blitz's skins, you may not have seen Cav's skin
No,
either.
I've seen Cavs.
Oh.
I've seen Cavs, but she's still recognizable as Cav. Considering the Germans all wear headgear, it was surprising to see Blitz, because you usually can't see his face. So it's like, oh, that's what Blitz looks like.
Anyway, it's time for the Siege Olympics.
Oh, poor Clash. She gets added back to the game only to get banned. I didn't realize she was back in the game either. So hey, good on you, girl, to get put back into the game, only to get banned.
Yep, that's the tragedy of Clash. Yeah, I suppose we might as well.
Oh yeah, all the operators are available. All the unbanned operators are available to use, no matter. So that's fun.
Yep.
Okay, that works. I couldn't choose one in time. I was panicking. Thermite works though.
Yeah, so that's also nice too, since that kind of.
Fuse is sure to be at the heart of the action.
Yeah, Harry says something relating to one of the operator's abilities.
Okay, I'm gonna pick Fuse and see if he says anything about killing the hostages.
I completely lost my train of thought I had. Oh yeah, every operator is free, so this is also a great opportunity to kind of try anyone you may not have unlocked and see.
Okay, that was Mozzie.
And see if any DLC operators seem worth it, since it's a grind. So I have no idea where I'm going with this drone.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Oh, what? Oh no! Oh no! It reset my weapons.
Oh yeah, that's a thing with the operators that have well, their Olympics.
Skins.
Olympic scene skins where they're kind of treated as a different operator in that regard.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah, that's really dumb. Also, we got these glasses so we can actually look into and see what the defenders are up to. Of course, that also means they can see what we're doing.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh! Echo's dead.
Nice with the double kill.
What? I got a double? How did I get a double? I did not mean to do that. Ooh. Nice, Loka.
Got one. Valk is down the hall.
Ow. I have no clue how I got that double kill.
Me neither, especially since I didn't see any of that.
That was the Danny DeVito meme right there. So anyways, I started blasting. That's totally what that was.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think what your train of thought was before all that happened was essentially that we weren't planning on doing this, but then stuff happened where we decided to do this, and I think that's where you left off.
Yeah, this is kind of a in terms of the game content, of course, it's Siege Olympics. As for the commentary content of this particular episode, this might be more of a venting episode, since there's been some things happening with certain games that we kind of felt the need to vent about somewhere.
And neither of us really know what the other is talking about, so it's going to be interesting for both of us.
Yeah, granted, the one thing I have is more of a continuation of what we were about this game that we were talking about on the last Modern Warfare stream. So it's kind of on that same line. You, however, I have absolutely no idea what it's going to be about. I know what game it's involved.
Yeah, speaking of Modern Warfare, so I mean, is that a segue? Should we just use that as a segue for me to go into my tirade first?
Yeah, we might as well.
Okay, because I was going to be nice and let you go first, but hey, a segue is a segue.
Yeah.
So so Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. It's a game I play a lot. It's a game I enjoy, and
ooh, I see her.
Okay, there's a person right. Oh, they moved. Oh, I was about to say, they don't have a frost, do they? They have a frost.
And she went back and
got me. Bear trap, help. Someone. Oh, and I'm dead. Okay, well, now I don't have to bother playing now. I can just talk. So it's a game I enjoy a lot. It's actually kind of nostalgic, even though it's a new game. Loka and I both talked about this on this stream series and on others, how much we're enjoying it and how it's very nostalgic for the days of back when COD was good, stuff like that. And so, oh my gosh, what was that? What was that?
What?
That was awful. So yeah. Oh, that was embarrassing for both parties, really.
Yeah.
That was I don't even want to know how to describe that. So recently they did a thing where because almost the entirety of Australia was burning down.
Oh, it's gonna be about that.
They released a pack. They released they had already planned to release it just because it was going to be a thing that they were releasing anyway. And then when Australia caught fire, they decided to turn it into a charity thing, where you buy this skin pack and everything that's in it, and the proceeds of the money you spent on that pack will then go to charity to help fight the fires in Australia. Coming from Activision, this is actually a pretty altruistic thing they're doing, right? That's actually pretty nice considering it's Activision.
Exactly.
Especially when they weren't planning on doing that, it was something that they happened to be releasing coincidentally around the same time. Because you can't go, oh, Australia's burning, let's quickly throw together a skin. It's like, because the skin pack even came out like a week before this stuff started to happen too, so it ended up being very bad coincidental timing in terms of all that. So they decided to turn it into a charity pack, and coming from Activision, who really likes their money, that's they decided good PR was better than more money. So it was a very nice thing for them to do. So I thought to myself, you know what? What the heck? This will be the one and only time I ever pay extra money for microtransactions for this game. I will get this skin pack. So ever since the great PSN hack of 2011, I don't put credit card information into the PSN for some obvious reasons. Oh, that's Echo.
Well, in that case, you're smarter than me.
Yeah. So instead, what I do is I just buy the little currency packs that they have. Oh, okay, Echo. Whatever. I'll move. So that you can buy the.
Bye, Legion.
Legion's down. Up. So you can oh, here he comes. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. So you can just buy. Oh, Mozzie looks weird. So you can just straight up buy like $5 on the PSN. Well, actually not that, you can't buy that small an amount, but you can go 10, 25, 50, 100. You can buy that amount of stuff. You can buy that amount of currency on the PSN. So that's what I did. I got a $10 PSN card. I'm like, the skin's not going to be that much. It'll probably be $10 at most, and I'll be donating to charity, and I'll have a thing to show it off in the game with it. So kill assist. So I get back to my house. I put in the thing because the balance I had in my wallet at the time before I bought this card was like $2.40, something like that. It wasn't much. So this gave me like $12 in my little digital wallet. So I put in the money into the digital wallet, and then I go into so I open up Modern Warfare, and I go to where this the skin pack is available, and you can buy it for 1,800 Call of Duty points. So I'm like, okay. So and that's the thing. It's like, so now I got to figure out how many Call of Duty points.
Yeah.
I need to get this. So it's like, okay, so how much is 1,800 Call of Duty points going to set me back? It's going to set me back $20 because it was going to because 1,000 Call of Duty points essentially. Let's try a Goyo. Essentially comes out to be $10 equals 1,000 points. So it was going to be essentially an $18 skin. So I didn't really like that. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. It's like, and so I'm going to pause really quick and just preface that, yes, I know that everything I say from here on out is going to make me look like a bit of a jerk because I'm debating whether or not to actually give to charity.
Oh boy.
So it's like, oh, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. I want to spend, I want to spend $20 on this skin, considering I've already spent $60 on this game. And again, I'm aware of how that sounds. So but then I was looking around a little bit on the store, and I kind of noticed something. I noticed that the battle pass was only. Okay, let's look at this wall. I noticed that the battle pass was only 1,000. Rainbow Six, or not Rainbow Six. what are we playing right now? It was only 1,000 Call of Duty points, and so I kind of did some math in my head, and with the extra rewards you can get, with the extra rewards you can get through the battle pass when you buy it, you can get Call of Duty points back when you earn stuff in the battle pass.
Ash got me.
And so with the amount of if you complete the battle pass with the amount of Call of Duty points you could earn, you could actually get more. Really? Okay. You could actually get more Call of Duty points from the battle pass than it costs to actually buy it. So essentially, you pay the $10 for the 1,000 Call of Duty points to get the battle pass, and then they'll give you $14 in their fake currency. So I kind of saw that. I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. The skin that I want to get to help donate to charity is 1,800. So if I complete this battle pass, I'll only be 400 away, and it'll only cost me like $5 extra to get this. So essentially, I'd be paying $15 for a $20 skin, and I would get the battle pass for free. So is this logic tracking so far?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so so I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is actually pretty smart, because
attackers need to locate.
They're not, because when you go to get the skin with the Call of Duty points, they're not gonna. I don't think they have any way to tell how you purchased that. It's like, okay, you gave us the Call of Duty points, so we treat that as the $20 or whatever it took to get those Call of Duty points, and so then they'll give the $20 to charity, right?
Yep.
So essentially, I would be paying $15 for a skin, get the battle pass for free, and Activision would be sending $20 to Australia, which is $5 more than I actually spent. So, so what was going to happen is I was totally going to play the system and punk Activision. And I'd get one over on Activision, which, considering it's Activision, I think they kind of deserve it, right? It's like, hey, let's play the system here. Let's play the system here and get them to send more to charity than they really should, because it's not because essentially what they were saying, it's like, hey, we'll let it be a 1-to-1. We'll let it be a 1-to-1 thing here. And it's like, you pay $20 for the skin, we'll send $20 to charity. But I'm like, but no, I'm gonna pay $15 for this skin, and you'll send $20 to charity. I'm smart. So that's why I decided to do. So I got another $10 PSN card, and I put that in my digital wallet and let it sit there for a bit, while I grinded through the battle pass. So the skin the skin you could buy, you could on the They had the information on at the. I'm sure it was in multiple places, but the place I saw it to begin with was Infinity Ward's Twitter. Yeah. So on their Twitter, it said you could purchase the skin through January 31st, and then the proceeds from that would be donated.
Yep.
So, they team killed.
Uh-oh.
So, knowing this, I just started to grind through the battle pass, and I said to myself, okay, whatever I don't end up getting, if I come up a little bit short, then I'll pay that. It's still, oh my gosh, no, I'm an idiot. It's Finka. So what if I come up a little short, then I'm still going to be paying less for the skin than what it's actually worth because of this. So I thought that sounded like a pretty good plan. So this was about middle of January. So I start grinding through the battle pass. I take a day off here or there because around this time I was also working on filming for my new stop motion project that's coming out after Bionicle Reiterated is done. And so I worked on that so much. Like the last week I was home for winter vacation, my arm and neck were actually really sore from all the standing up and moving. It's like I had a crick in my neck. The muscles in my arm and shoulder were sore. That's how bad it was. But then to relax when my battery in my camera was recharging, I would grind through the battle pass in Call of Duty. So I do all that. Hey, we actually went around. So I do all that, and January 31st rolls around. I have 1,000 Call of Duty points that I got through the battle pass. So I'm going to have to spend $8. Well, actually, really another 10 because you can't because of the way the currency packs work.
Yeah.
So I'll have to spend another $10, but I'll have 200. I'll have 200 left over. So I'm still getting this skin at a discount. So I'm like, I still feel happy about this. I think this is a good plan. Ooh, alibi. I think this is a good plan. I want to go through with it. So I turn on the game on January 31st. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go buy this. I'm gonna go buy some more currency, and I'm gonna purchase the skin. So I'm like, I'm just gonna make sure that the price hasn't been discounted on like the last day or something, or if it went up or something, it's like it's the last day. So I go to check the price on the skin just one last time to double check, and I can't find it anywhere.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
It's not on there. I'm like, where is it? This doesn't make any sense. They said you could purchase this skin through January 31st. Today is January 31st. It should still be here. Tomorrow, February 1st, should be the day where you can no longer purchase the skin. Apparently, that's not what Infinity Ward meant when they said you could get the skin through January 31st. To them, that means you can purchase the skin through January 30th, and then on the 31st, it's gone.
5 seconds left before insertion.
I'm gonna... I know exactly what is going on here, and I'm gonna explain it. Or have you...
Yeah, so something happened, whether it was just poor communication on their part, or I guess I just misunderstood because the way the thing on their Twitter read to me is that you could buy the skin through the up until the 31st of January, and that stuff would get donated to charity. But then on the 1st, the skin's going to be gone, but instead it was a day earlier than I thought. So
it's actually not that. It's arguably even worse because the way I don't know exactly how the store works in terms of of them rotating stuff, because I'm pretty sure they don't actually have everything on at once, since, well, that's literally what all of these post-Fortnite in-game stores have been doing.
Oh no, Frost killed me! Team kill!
So sometimes they will add something that kind of either rotates it something else out from the store or remove it.
No.
However, if you were to hypothetically buy something from the store would remove that package since, well, you've already bought it, and it would be replaced with something new. So it's a really bad system, to put it simply. So it's, and I can say it was on the store because I did buy it. Must have been on the night of the 21st, I think.
31st.
Yeah.
You said 21st.
Oh, yeah, I meant 31st.
Okay. Okay, so then this just got even worse then.
Yep.
because I could not find the skin anywhere, so I thought that it was just a mix up in messaging. No, I guess from my client side, then they swapped out that skin for something else before I had a chance to purchase it, and I didn't. So essentially, no matter which way this happened, what it boils down to is I thought I was playing Activision, but Activision ended up playing me, and I'm angry.
Oh,
and again,
no.
I know how much of a jerk I'm sounding about this because I was like, it was all the whole purpose behind this whole thing starting in the first place was whether or not I donate to charity. What the heck?
What? Just
They chucked a C4 through they tried to chuck a C4 through
that's clever.
through the little. Okay, I'm down to 45 health now. Thanks for that.
yeah.
So yeah, basically what happened is that I bought their battle pass, which is something I never said I would do in order to get one over on Activision. But then they removed the skin. I was gonna get it at a discount by buying their battle pass, and then Activision got one over on me. So
Illa got me. I was trying to jump in through the window.
I got Ella.
Nice.
Infiltrating their camps.
So yeah, I'm upset about that. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, that's 100% understandable. Especially considering it was for a charity as opposed to just buying a random skin pack and give Activision some money.
Now I have done some more math since. So because now I've got all of these COD points that I don't have anything I want to spend them on. Because honestly, I didn't even really like the look of that skin to begin with.
Yeah.
I thought it was really just kind of okay. It was whatever. I was not planning. I saw it. I was not planning on buying it. And then it's like, oh, Australia's on fire. Buy the skin to help save Australia from burning down. It's like, oh, that's not a bad idea. I don't really care for the skin, but I'll do that just to donate to charity, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the whole reason I was gonna. And there's literally no other skin out there or like whatever that I care enough to pay for because that's one of the things I really like about Modern Warfare 2019 is all the different challenges and stuff to where I've got a couple different skins that on my guns and on my guns and my operators and stuff that I have equipped right now that aren't unlocked by playing the game. I activated different challenges and grinded for them, so I legitimately earned those different skins and stuff. Those I like using because it's like, oh well, I actually grinded for this. I earned this. That I'm definitely going to want to use these now. It's not something I just bought, like a lot of the other stuff in the store. Whatever, a lot of the other stuff in the game, which like the fact that you can buy plasma rifles or whatever now that shoot different colored lasers instead of regular bullet trails, and then and like anime gun skins, stuff like that. So So, but I don't have anything I want to buy because of all this, and I've just got all these COD points laying around. But I noticed that, oh well, I guess I still do have exactly 1,000, and the battle pass doesn't end for like another 15 days or something, right? It extends somewhat, and they extended it. It extends a little bit into February until the new season starts, right?
Yeah.
So I've still got a little while on this battle pass, and I'm about 3/4 of the way through. I could finish out this battle pass and get the 1,400 COD points that I could earn through it. So with that, and without anything else that I want to buy in the store, essentially what I could do at this point is next season when the new battle pass comes around, I'm going to have 1,400 COD points laying around, and the battle pass costs 1,000, and the battle passes always cost 1,000 to buy into. So essentially, what I could do is I can get the next battle pass for free, and then if I grind all the way through that battle pass, then the season 3 battle pass I'll be able to get for free because the COD points would have refilled, assuming that they're gonna keep that they're gonna allow you to earn the same amount of COD points, and then same for the season 4, and same for the season 5, and on and on and on and on to this point where I paid $10 for one battle pass, and I'm gonna get all the other ones that come out after for free as long as I grind in perpetuity. So, in a way, I'm still going to be able to get one over on Activision, just not the way I thought, and not in a way that really makes me feel good, because they also ended up giving money to charity. So I mean, it's kind of complicated, but it's a thing. It's a thing that's happening now, I guess.
Oh. Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, I haven't bought a single. No, well, actually, no, that's not correct. I usually don't buy microtransactions in these full price games. There are some exceptions, like this game, for instance, had used to have quite a few skins that you could buy directly on the PS Store, which I was like, I mean, that's the business model I would advocate for. So I actually bought a few of those when they were on sale.
And now this game literally has every form of monetization in it.
Yeah. The other exceptions are actually Overwatch, because they... I don't remember when this was, and this is actually funny, considering it's Overwatch, and I don't really care about Overwatch. But there was one time period where they released a specific skin for Mercy on the PS Store. It was a very pink skin, because it was basically as a way to, like with the Modern Warfare thing, a bit of a charity to get some money to donate for breast cancer.
Oh yeah, pink. Okay, that makes sense. That's not a bad reason to buy a skin.
Yeah, so that was like, you know what? I don't care that much about this game, but I'll do it. And I also did it with this, even though it did make me feel dirty since I had to buy the COD points. And something I realized, there's been a few times where I've actually been going into the in-game store of a game and being like, maybe I'm just being old here. Maybe it's time to actually, like, not necessarily go full whale into things, but maybe actually buy some microtransactions, since, I mean, that's kind of where the whole live service games are built around. But every time end up with me being, nah, this is way too difficult. Because as you were saying for your story, you ended up buying less COD points than you actually needed.
Because considering what it was for, I just kind of thought that it would be a decently priced skin, not a 20. So you pay $60 for the game, and then you're gonna pay 20 for this skin on top of it. So you're gonna pay $80 for stuff in the skin. No, I'm not. I don't want to do that. That's stupid. So
yeah. So when I was going to purchase this skin, I looked at how many COD points it cost, and it said 1800. So I was like, okay, I'll get 1800 COD points. Went to the store, and the only two options that are close to that are either 1100 or 2400 COD points.
right, yeah,
And I'm thinking, man, I so don't want to buy more than I actually need.
right. Because that's the thing. That's the thing. If you read the description on that, is that you buy the 1,000, it gives you 100 extra.
Yeah.
For free. And then if you buy the 2,400, it's 2,000 with 400 for free. So that way you have a little bit left over. So you may only be something like 100 short of this other skin that you might want to buy. So then that entices you to go buy more COD points. It's totally a scam.
Oh yes. I mean, yeah. I was looking at that and being like, man, I really don't want to buy more than I need, because, as you said, then it's gonna be some leftovers that are gonna be sitting there. Although, I suppose this game might be the better of those, since at least you can earn some free COD points through the battle pass.
The battle's destructive power is phenomenal.
So, like,
Especially
eventually,
with
maybe you
regards to
could
vertical sightlines.
grind your way up on into buying something that you would actually want from the store. But I was still being
right,
like,
but it would take you multiple seasons to do because you can only get something like 500 free without getting the battle pass, I think.
Yep.
I think that's what I determined from my maths when I started this whole thing. You can only get 500 free. And considering even the cheapest things usually cost somewhere $750 or more, it's going to take you multiple seasons and considering stuff rotates in and out of the store. Again, this is the whole thing of why I wanted to pull one over on Activision to begin with, because this is so predatory.
Yeah. So instead of buying the 24,000 pack, as the total would have been, I was thinking,
2,400.
okay. Oh yeah, 2,400.
I don't want to know how much 24,000 would cost.
Yeah, me neither. And I was looking. Okay, I have 100. Can I maybe buy some fewer packs and maybe use that or something? And I was trying to do the maths, and what ended up being the best was to I could actually buy 1,800 COD points. I just had to buy one 1,100, one 500, and one 200.
Sorry.
So, but in order to do that, that would essentially be multiple clicks and purchases confirmations of 3 different COD point packs. So I'm like, until I realized, oh wait, on the PS Store app, I can just add them to my cart and just make one purchase to make things easier, which was what I ended up doing. And throughout all this process, I'm just thinking, man, buying microtransactions is actually way too hard.
Yes.
For something that's earning them a lot of money, it's bewildering to me how...
Excuse me? He whipped around that corner really fast. Because I saw him.
Oof.
Oh, he pre-fired. That explains it.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you immediately get the headshot? He pre-fired.
And I do understand how they're making so much money from all this, but all the while I'm just like, you'd think if you want people to spend money, you would make it as easy as possible.
Yes.
But this is way too
Frustrating.
Yeah, exactly. And to add on that, I've even looked at the Siege store because I have 52 rainbow credits that is leftovers from when I used to buy the season passes. Granted that when they were at the very heavily discounted price, but still. And I've actually been like trying to think, okay, is there an because it's annoying me that there are just 52 rainbow credits just sitting there. So I'm
people that play video games a lot are often very OCD about certain things.
Yeah.
Like just having a random 54 Rainbow Six credits left over on their account. It's like it's just sitting there, and I can't. I mean, I'm the same way with. I'm the exact same way with Battlefront 2 and the scrap. Like, remember when scrap was a thing back in the original progression system that they got rid of and now it's totally obsolete? You can still use what scrap you have left over to upgrade star cards and stuff. But at this point, most of my
Oh no!
Oh no, man down! The C4 got him. But I most of my star cards are completely because the game's been out for almost 3 years at this point. So most of my star cards are maxed out. The ones that aren't are on characters I don't use that often. On top of the fact that I've run the math, and even if I were to careful, there's a guy there.
Yep.
Even if I were to get rid of most of the scrap I've got left, some of the come on. Some of the scrap would still be left over because I wouldn't have enough to completely get rid of it. So it's and you can't earn more scrap anymore because of the way the progression system works. So I'm the exact same way with Battlefront 2, and you can't buy more scrap either. So it's a total paradox.
Yeah.
It's just gonna sit there in perpetuity until the end of time.
Yeah, and I've same as you. I've done all the maps. I've looked at. Well, I haven't really looked at the most expensive credit packs, but on the lower scale, I'm thinking like, please, is there any sort of skin combo pack combination I could buy, and I would end with 0 rainbow credits left? And no, always end up with some leftovers.
Yeah. So, and to add some further insult to injury on this whole thing of the fact that Activision totally played with me, is this came on the heels of an update where Infinity War broke a third of the game. It didn't affect everyone, but it affected a lot of people. So I don't know if this affected you, Loka. But essentially, what happened is that an update came out, and you had to download another multiplayer add-on pack for whatever reason that we don't know exactly what's in it. I guess it's some Season 2 stuff that they're going to unlock to make available later or something. And then on top of that, there was a new Special Ops pack, which again, probably more stuff that's going to be unlocked later. And it's like, why are you adding this in now? Okay, whatever. So the multiplayer download pack goes fine. But then for a lot of people with the Special Ops pack, it downloads, it installs, and then it deletes itself once you open the game.
That's
So
what
and then
happened to me.
and it says, yeah, and it says, and so then it immediately starts to download again. So it downloads, it installs, it deletes itself. You open up the game again, it downloads, it installs, it deletes itself over and over and over and over in a cycle. The Spec Ops pack was bugged for some whatever reason, and it kept deleting itself. So that meant that Spec Ops co-op was completely inaccessible. No one, if that problem was happening to you, you couldn't play a third of the game.
Yep.
So not only was I going through this trying to pull one over on Activision, even when I was trying to that was another reason I kind of wanted to do it. It's like, well, oh wow, they just killed one. It's like you broke a third of your game, and I can't. Not that Spec Ops is really something I want to play all the time, but still, yeah. You shouldn't have. You should have been more careful with this patch and not broken a third of your game. So I'm definitely going to want to try to get one over on you. Oh wait, you still got one over on me. A mess. It's a total mess. Thankfully, that problem has since been fixed, but it was annoying to say the least.
An extra thing to add is that actually affected, at least for me, even playing multiplayer. Because whenever I would go for the multiplayer, it would do the... At least I think it was the Spec Ops pack that it, like, were trying to force on me.
Right, yeah.
Instead of the multiplayer pack. So I couldn't even play the multiplayer.
Oh gosh.
Until I found
I was at least able to play the
workaround.
multiplayer.
Yeah, I was able to find out about a workaround where instead of going through the whole process, you instead go to the DLCs you own.
Yeah, I spent some time looking around and there for stuff to find a workaround as well. So I mean, yeah, it was. I'm glad they put through another patch that had another 4 gigs on it. So I guess they just needed to. Oh, were you gonna blow that door open?
Yep.
Thank you.
I just want to revive Amaru.
Hacking into their cams.
Noise.
All right, we have defender cams. Oh,
wait. Oh.
They're both back here! They're both back here!
My aim was completely off. And then once I had the Spec Ops pack sorted out, I was like, right, finally I can play Modern Warfare. And I had completely forgotten about the multiplayer pack.
Oh.
So that was not fun. Also, that update also... That wasn't the only thing that update broke. It also broke the progression for some people.
It never broke the progression for me, but yeah, it did break the. So I mean, that update just broke a whole lot of stuff. So yeah, so that's why that's another reason I wanted, because I hadn't tried out Siege Olympics yet. It's like, okay, I need to take a break from Modern Warfare because they just screwed me over one too many ways recently.
Oh no. We're down 1.
You know what? I'm going to be the angry screaming lady.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's kind of my tirade. I realized that they had played me instead of me playing them, and I mean that was my first thing. It's like I sent you that Discord message like, are you planning a weekend at Loka's this weekend for Siege or something? Because I really need to vent. I'm angry right now. So it's I kind of wanted to scream almost. It was I was upset. It was bad.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Oh, she's so slow. I guess that makes sense.
100%.
So yeah, so what are you angry about? What are you upset about?
I just want to preface this that I love DICE as a developer. even though I think I've kind of with the things I'm going to say, I think I've kind of realized that DICE is simultaneously one of the best and one of the worst developers.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because they make quality games, but I think I've said this before, but I think they're also kinda the Bethesda of first-person shooters.
I can see that.
Every game they release is buggy in some shape or form. However,
to a degree, though, again, kind of like Bethesda. Oh boy, that was scary. But again, kind of like Bethesda, that to a degree that adds to their charm because see a body pinwheel through the sky because the gravity for the physics for him just broke once he's dead. Gosh, that isn't fun to watch.
Yep. Oh, that C4 was not. However, that's not really what I'm mad about, since that kind of comes with the territory, really. However, speaking of Modern Warfare, the last time we played that on stream, we were
is literally killing everyone, and I could do to stop him. He's literally killed everyone. He killed me. You have an excuse, Loka. You were downed, but everyone else, you idiots! I had him completely distracted, and you just allow him to headshot all of you. What?
What is this? Anyway, on our last Modern Warfare stream, we were talking about recent developments for Battlefield 5, since they had, I think it had been a month or so since they had released the Pacific DLC, which was great for a number of reasons. One, it was great content that was much needed. Also, a breath of change from war-torn Europe. Now we get to make...
Let's face it, most World War II games are about war-torn Europe. Very few have anything to do with the Pacific Theater.
Yeah. So
it's like Medal of Honor Rising Sun, and that's pretty much it. That's all I can think of.
Well, there's COD World at War.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then I can't think of any. Not anything that comes to my mind. Anyway,
especially recently.
Yeah. Anyway, it was nice to just get to a different place and make that a war-torn place instead. Also, like I said, that piece of DLC was essentially the Geonosis for Battlefront 2, because both games have had their fair share of issues since launch, although Battlefronts were more related to the progression and monetization, or rather how we were going to work until they pulled the plug on that one. Battlefield 5 mostly by bugs and lack of content. So the subreddit has been a fun place in quotation marks since release. I think like it was kind of the same with the Modern Warfare one, where I was playing the game at launch and I was like, yeah, this is a really great game. And then I go on the subreddit and there's just constant complaining, and I'm like, whoa, what is going on? I have no idea.
Yeah. It's like, oh, Modern Warfare is the worst Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2019 is the worst Call of Duty. Run, Loka, run! convert.
Oh, no!
No! Oh no! I got you killed, and the fuse came in and killed me. Oh no! I'm so sorry.
close.
Oh no! Did he? I don't know if he. I don't know if he shot it, or if one of the hockey pucks got it, or what. I don't know. But oh no!
It must have been the hockey pucks.
Oh no! All of a sudden, I just saw that Loka died to flame, and I'm like, "Oh no, that was me! That was me!" I mean, at least it didn't do. At least it didn't count as team damage. But oh gosh, well, that was something.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
So yeah, the Battlefield 5 subreddit is at a similar place as the Modern Warfare subreddit. That's
Oh
interesting.
yeah. And it was really that for a long time, with the exception of 2 times. One, right after EA Play, where everyone was happy about the content for a week, and then we still had to deal with how the game was in its current state. Second time was when the Pacific DLC dropped. And as I said, it was kind of the geonosis for Battlefield 5, where like you could feel the tides turning, and that it was gonna head in a much better place, and then hopefully culminate with something that could be that game's capital supremacy. And as we were talking about on the last Modern Warfare stream, they decided to completely change the way weapons work with the dreaded 5.2 TTK, as it's commonly referred to, since well, it was the 5.2 update. And I didn't actually play during the 5.2 update, but I've seen videos. It looked extremely bad, and like, and then they released a hotfix, so now it's known as the 5.2.2 TTK. This isn't gonna be a lot of numbers, definitely not. Which made things better, but it still wasn't great. And I played one match with this, with the current TTK. It's not the worst I've played, question mark. But I could tell that the game felt different, and not in a way, because that's the thing, throughout all the constant issues that Battlefield 5 has had, the gameplay was solid. The gameplay was near perfection, the way guns worked and such. And that's, I'd say, probably the number one reason I kept playing the game and had fun with it, despite the fact that there were some weird decisions that DICE made, and there was a lack of content throughout the live service until around EA playtime. So with this change, I've kind of suddenly lost one of the reasons why I were playing the game in the first place. Most of the community seem to agree with me, at least based on the subreddit and YouTube comments.
Kapkan's ability to ensnare his enemies makes every approach a gamble.
Because the way it works, to kind of give a brief summary, is that it really changed a lot of the ways weapons work. Recoil were somewhat reduced. I think rate of fire was somewhat reduced either, but I'm not entirely sure.
Bomb located by attackers.
And probably the biggest change is that up to a certain distance, around 30 meters or so, the bullets, like the damage the bullets does, drops significantly, which means that long range like you really don't want to do any long range engagements because you're gonna put a lot of bullets that won't kill anyone. Oh no. And something I didn't bring up back then, but
I've been shot in the back. It's IQ. Help!
oh no.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Oh, I see her.
Oh, they shot me through the wall!
I got Fus Rodad. Okay, I got one. Got two. Ah! I'm afraid. Okay, I'm alive. This change was across the board, which might make sense. However, what DICE seemed to forget was that it also affected Firestorm in a
Oh yeah, the battle royale.
in a really bad way, because now that enemies are more bullet spongier in the normal multiplayer,
Oh gosh.
you can imagine how bad it is in in battle royale. Where
and if any online multiplayer game really has to have a very accurate or time to kill, it's a battle royale.
yeah, I've seen clips. I've seen clips of people literally getting 2 or 3 headshots, and that's barely enough to kill someone in the battle royale. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking with the whole
Defenders have eyes on the
TTK.
diffuser. Attackers need to protect it.
Because that's kind of the problem. That's one of my issues I've had with battle royales, specifically
Bomb diffuser disabled by
Fortnite and Apex Legends. I enjoyed Apex Legends way more than Fortnite, but the problem I had with both of them was the extra armor.
Yeah.
Which I think it was worse in Fortnite, and it was better in Apex Legends. But it's just like the extra armor. It's like you have this really powerful gun. You're like, oh, I'm gonna, oh, there's this room full of enemies. I want to go in and just shred them. You think you're going to be able to go in there and shred them, but then you start lighting them up, and they've all got like full shields, and so you can waste a mag on them and do literally no damage whatsoever. And then they just turn around and blast you with their shotguns. So it's like, oh, well, okay, if that had been like a regular multiplayer mode, I would have been able to pop around the corner and I would have just mowed them down because I had an LMG that had a lot of rounds and they would have been dead almost instantly. But because they had extra shields,
by attackers.
so I mean it's not something I particularly care for.
Yeah.
Where's the other bomb? When it comes to battle royales, so I mean that is a thing that they have to delicately balance. So you change the regular time to kill in your normal modes, and that also affects the battle royale. I can see where that's a problem.
Yeah, and
Because
it gets,
they're bullet sponges on top of also having armor. That's
yeah,
okay.
like
And I don't think armor, from what I've seen, armor doesn't work the same way in Firestorm as it does in, say, Fortnite or Apex Legends. But still,
Attackers must locate.
yeah, and I think I gave an example on that stream as well of how someone were shooting with an MG42 and it like at a relatively long distance and it only produced hit markers, and not it gets worse. It gets worse. They they released this hotfix that followed a update with a drastic change right before they went on Christmas break.
Oh, great.
So everyone just had to deal with that over Christmas and for January, when the team were finally getting back and they were gonna look at the data and they were gonna take feedback into consideration and see what to go from there. When they implemented this change, they said outright that they had no plans to revert it. However, around the same time of 2018, they tried to change the TTK as well, but they also said that we're gonna do some changes, we're not gonna revert them, but then they ended up reverting them because the community was not having it. And something I had completely forgot about was that back then they even said that they were never going to do something like this again. Cue a year later, and how things have changed. And yeah, everyone, including me, is really not liking these changes. Like, it's because the way the game used to work just was really the systems behind that were great, and it was also the thing that most people pretty consistently agreed with was one of the best things about Battlefield 5, being the gunplay and as such. It wasn't perfect. It needed some balancing changes for a certain type of weapons, for instance, but it definitely like a drastic change like this wasn't really warranted, I feel, and the community. So everyone was hoping, okay, we're basically telling them how these changes are really bad, so maybe they will revert them. So we're waiting for let's see, I think it was last week when they were gonna do some blog posts or something with some brief updates on specifically what they were gonna do with the current TTK. And they have no plans on changing it back to how it used to be. Their data, whatever that is that what is sort of breaching Sarge?
I feel like to a degree them saying, well, our data says is kind of an excuse for them to go, yeah, we're going to do what we want, shut up.
Yeah, because the community has been very negative about it. I've even seen posts on Reddit from new players that were saying that this game has a lot of issues that needs to be fixed regarding the gunplay. Like, I'm just dumping bullets into people and it does nothing. So I don't remember the exact. No, wait, because the whole reason of them changing it was that they were looking into a way to, because according to their data, TM, they were looking at ways to find a way how to make new players stick with the game, because apparently they've noticed that new people pick up the game and then they kind of don't really stick with it
So the time to kill sucks.
Well, this was before the time to kill changed,
okay.
so when it was much faster, and they were trying to look at things. Okay, what could be the cost?
You gotta have a balance. You can't die too quickly. You can't die too slowly.
Yeah, and since this TTK change really is mostly about the ranged, I realized the way I say deranged. No, it still sounds like I'm saying deranged, like it's which it kind of is in a way, but anyway. Well, basically making long-range engagements less frustrating for the one being fired upon, which I can understand to some degree, but I don't agree with the choices, and they're gonna stick with these changes because their data suggests that this specific area has been improved, but I find that a very weird way to put it, since, I mean, yeah, it has been improved because of the fact that it takes longer to kill people over a certain range. So if you are someone more than 30 meters away from someone starting to firing a big machine gun, since bullets do less damage, you have somewhat more time to actually respond to that. And
that was a really great nade there, Loka. Good thing it was an EMP nade and not a frag.
If only there was a way to put a gun to your head in this game. So yeah, it's and what gets even more frustrating is that the way they're gonna further tweak it, well, they haven't acknowledged that it needs tweaking. Like they said in that blog post that they're gonna make recoil and rate of fire more closer to what we've been accustomed to, and they're also using the that was close, the 5.0 as a what were they calling it? Like a shoot, I forgot the word. Like a baseline, and 5.0 is the TTK before the before the TTK change. So
come on.
So it's not a.
Oh, someone just needs to breathe on Frost and she's dead.
Ooh, that's nice to know.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
She was in the room to your right there, Loka. See, and you got a headshot to top it off. When Maverick was in there too, I don't know why the idiot didn't do anything. Flawless victory.
If only this were ranked.
Yeah.
Still need that trophy.
Her new face looks so dead there.
Yeah.
So he wasn't even blinking. I didn't get any kills that game. Wow.
So they're not gonna revert it, but they're using the old TTK as a baseline for upcoming tweaks. It's confusing. So I suppose what may eventually happen is that weapons are gonna perform close to what they used to in close range, and then over a certain range, like the 30 meters, there's gonna be a drastic damage drop off. Although apparently they're gonna look into smoothen this this damage drop-off. So it's really weird and kinda frustrating since, well, for one, it has caused more problems than it has solved. For one, it kinda changed the way guns worked. So, well, yeah, there's that. There's also the irony of because before this change, I don't remember there being a specific meta surrounding certain weapons. I know there was a bit of a meta concerning a certain type of weapon, those being medium machine guns. But it was it was something that could be tweaked instead of tweak those that weapon category specifically instead of overhauling every weapon. Except now there's very clear meta because assaults, literally everyone is running around with the STG-44. That's everything I see from assaults. And the medics have recently gotten some weapons that absolutely shreds people. So now everyone is not only using those weapons when they play medic, but they're also I've seen lobbies where the majority of the people are playing as the medic because of those weapons. And
that's interesting because in the history of Battlefield, with the exception of maybe the recon class, medic's like the least played class out there.
Yeah.
Because everyone likes the explosives that the support has and be able to have infinite ammo, or they like the assault / engineer, whatever you want to call him, because he can fix vehicles and he's got rocket launchers and some pretty good assault rifles. And then people that play recon, they want to sit at the back of the map and snipe. So there aren't as many of those as others, but there's still a decent amount. And then the medic, it's the one class that unless you're playing on like Operation Locker or Metro, no one bothers with for most of the time. It's like every now and then like we keep dying. When someone plays the medic, fine, I'll play as the medic, and that's how people end up playing as the medic. So that's interesting that there's a lot of people playing as medic.
Yeah, and that was because as I said, Battlefield 5 has had its fair share of issues and weird decisions and lack of content and whatnot. But as I said, the gunplay were enjoyable enough to where I still played it despite there being, well, despite all those problems, because I genuinely thought it was that good. And now they changed that thing, so now the game isn't as enjoyable as I used to find it. And then like this whole change, well, not only the change, but also with their stance of we're not gonna
run!
Oh no.
Oops. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Okay, I did nothing. That almost ended bad. Sorry about that outburst.
Oh no, I've been spotted. Where was I? So now it's kind of like all these other issues have been piling up. But I've still been enjoying the game because of the gunplay. But now these recent changes, they're I'm not sure what to call it. They're very.
Oh, she's got her spooky face. Ella has her spooky face.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Spooky face strikes again.
Yeah. So these drastic changes on top of them, I guess stubbornly sticking with them, were kind of the straw that the straw that broke the camel's back for me, and that
The straw that back the camels broke.
That, and also because they released this week a trailer for the next chapter / season, and it kind of looks a bit lackluster. Because only one map, it seems to be. Granted, that map looks good, but I'm getting a little bit worried when it's only one map and we don't know whether there's gonna be any more. And on one hand, I kinda get DICE on that, because there's been some situations in the past where they've promised that some type of content, and then either it was massively delayed or even outright cancelled. So I can understand them being reluctant to announce stuff unless they know that it's gonna be released soon. But at the same time, it doesn't. Again, there has to be a balance in these roadmap-based live service games, because I think there's a problem that there's a bit of over-reliance on roadmaps. But also,
that's a thing that's real. That's just video games in general. There's kind of an over-reliance on. It's like here's the Apex Legends roadmap. Here's the Anthem roadmap, and then every time it ends up the roadmap ends up getting changed.
Yeah.
Ow.
So I can understand the reluctance, but at the same time, since it is a live service game, like I don't necessarily want to know, need to know everything and when exactly everything is gonna be released, but at least some sort of info on what we could expect from, say, this upcoming chapter in Battlefield 5, since it looks a bit less. As I said, there's only one map that we know. They've only talked about this one map that are gonna be released, and then on top of that, the new weapons and gadgets that are gonna be released are also weapons and gadgets that were supposed to be released a lot earlier and are only now getting, so it also kind of adds to that feeling.
Well, hey, at least Battlefield 5 is getting new weapons.
Oh yeah, that's true. For instance, and I remember you talking about the trailer for the Pacific DLC, where there's one bit where you see a soldier running with this launch mine, like a mine on the end of a stick, running towards a tank, and it explodes. Like, that gadget ended up being delayed and are getting released now. And also there was another. I feel like I'm just rambling on all the different changes, but there was also a change in how they are approaching new weapons, on how to earn them, because the way it used to work is that throughout a chapter / season you would have a weekly challenge with a specific reward, those included being new weapons,
10
sometimes,
seconds to insertion.
well, mostly new weapons and skins and such.
Last one is Frost.
5 seconds left before insertion.
So it could be a bit of
Objective
like
is to defuse a bomb.
it's kind of part of the whole get on now and play to earn some content that may or may not be available later. Now, as for weapons and gadgets and even vehicles, when they be in rewards, you can still get them after that week through the company coins, I think they're called, which is the free currency. So
The attacker's bomb diffuser
basically
has been
you
dropped.
so for
Why did I
the
have the diffuser?
how did I not hit him? My sights were aligned at his head. What?
Which got him at least.
Oh, hey, at least someone is pulling their weight. Anyway, so the way it used to work, you could either, if you wanted to unlock the DLC weapons, you could either do the weekly challenge that had it as a reward, which usually could take 1 or 2 evenings to do. If not, you could unlock them through company credits, the free currency after that week. But now they've moved it to the, I'm gonna say, battle pass in quotation mark, in that it's kind of a battle pass, except it's only one track that is free, so you don't actually can buy a battle pass, but you can pay to skip tiers, and they've been putting weapons. They're like all the new weapons for this new chapter is put into this battle pass lookalike, which has caused a lot of concerns in that, well, you can actually pay for the tiers, so that's kinda paying for weapons,
Attackers need to
which
locate and defuse bombs.
I'm really not happy about. And also the fact that now you have to, at least I assume you're gonna have to wait until the chapter is over if you want to unlock
By attackers.
the weapons with company credits. So either grind the grind your levels, or be ready to pay to skip tiers, which it might sound a little hypocritical of me to complain about that, considering Modern Warfare is doing the same with new weapons, which
Well, yeah, and I don't like the Modern Warfare is doing that either. Like the new crossbow just came out as well, and that's not even on the battle pass, but that is a challenge. You can.
yeah.
Oh no! Oh dear. I've become the very thing I swore to destroy, Loka. I threw one of my electric claw
no.
thingies up on, and I destroyed your mute jammer.
Oh no!
I'm so sorry.
You know what this means, don't you?
Yes.
No, I won't do it.
I wouldn't have blamed you.
Anyway, like with Modern Warfare, I don't like it either. But I'm also looking at it from the fact that we've come to that from loot boxes, which is like I'd say, objectively speaking, an improvement. It's not ideal, but it's better than loot boxes. So I can kinda cut them some slack on their part in that, well, they did move on from loot boxes and to a less crappy system. Whereas with Battlefield 5, they had an okay system that they decided to move on to something a bit worse. So I don't know, have any of my rantings been even remotely coherent?
It's coherent to the point. It's coherent to where we get the point that Battlefield 5 is in a bad state right now.
Yeah, and that's what makes me the saddest about this all, is that now I don't really care about Battlefield 5, which is, I mean, Sony were putting out these, well, sending out these emails with some info of how much time you spent on certain games during 2019 and such. And Battlefield, I mean Battlefield 5 was my most played game of 2019. So that probably says a lot that I really enjoyed the game, but now I'm just done. And that's really making me sad. Like, as opposed to the subreddit, where I've seen some people go like, I hope Battlefield 5 does bad now, so DICE learns from that or something like that. And I'm like, I don't want this game to fail, but I just can't bring myself to care about it anymore. Because of the fact that they've, at least in my view, changed it in a worse, like in a way that made the game worse, and like this isn't really so much about, oh, they changed the game, now it's worse. Like it's not because, like it's not like, oh, they made a change and I hate changes or anything like that. I think some other examples of games oh, that was bad of me. Thermite might come at the door. Well, he's gonna meet the Lord. What?
He got me with a shotgun while crouching, so I couldn't, so I shot above him.
That makes sense. Like, for instance, Battlefield 1 had a TTK changed at some point. There were, of course, some differences in that. One, it was something that had been requested, and they also tried it on the CTE before implementing the change, as opposed to Battlefield 5, where no one wanted this change and there is no CTE, or you could argue that the entire game is a CTE.
Yeah, it's like almost every game at this point they have CTEs for CTEs.
Yeah, and it's also bewildering in that it's like the fact that someone, I'm gonna assume this is some sort of management problem, but it's also been worrisome to see that a lot of older DICE devs have left the studio.
Oh, that's not good.
Granted, since Battlefront 2 released, but I think the numbers has increased even further throughout Battlefield 5's life cycle. The latest one, which was very recent, is someone named David Sirland. I'm not too familiar with him, but that one seemed to be a very high-profile person leaving. Like some
See,
people.
and that's just to cut in really quick. I'm sorry, but that's something about Dice that, and maybe it's. I mean, and actually, I think it's actually kind of odd. But Dice, compared to other studios that I'm familiar with, I don't really know too much in terms of their management team, because with with the exception of like the community managers that like Ben Walk or Dennis however you say that name. I'm sorry, I'm a stupid American. It's like with their community managers, so of course they're front and center in the community. But I can't really. It's like I don't know who the head of the Battlefront 2 team is overall. I don't know who the head of the Battlefield 5 team is overall. And I feel like I'm very familiar with DICE as a studio. I don't really know their studio heads like I know the Infinity Ward head or the Naughty Dog head or the Insomniac heads. It's like I don't know if maybe it's just because. I mean, like I said, I feel like I know a lot about them, but maybe I'm just not paying as much attention as I should to know these names, and maybe it's just because they're not as high profile or something. I don't know. I feel weird that I don't know a lot of the names. So you say, oh, a lot of key staff have been leaving, or old veteran staff have been leaving recently. It's like, oh, that's worrying, but I don't really know who these people are. It's like whenever people came back to Infinity Ward to work on Modern Warfare 2019. You had names there, and you recognized some of them, and then it said, "Hey, this is the guy that spearheaded working on Shipment and Crash for the original Modern Warfare." So he's back to make new maps. It's like, oh, that's exciting. This is the guy that invented the kill cams.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, that's really it's like even if you didn't recognize those names, they said these are the people that revolutionized this thing or that thing. And then with DICE, it's like, I don't know, this is the guy that designed the Stormtrooper helmets for Battlefront 2015, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know them too well. All I know about, no, in quotation marks, but apparently...
left me with a distinct impression that Sledge is a force to be reckoned with.
Based on what I've seen from the subreddit, a lot of people are contributing David Sirland as the one that saved the Battlefield 4, which I find interesting.
Yeah, because that game was so broken at launch.
Yeah. So
arguably one of the best Battlefields now.
Yeah. Which to kind of loop that back to Battlefield 5, that one I felt had the potential to be one of the best in the series. As long as they managed to turn it around. It seemed like they were gonna do, and I don't know, content-wise, they might still. It's really hard to say, but I guess, as far as I'm concerned, I'm just done with the game for now, at least. And that's making me sad, because I don't want to feel done with the game. I don't want to feel done with Battlefield and DICE. And, well, I wouldn't really be done with DICE, since they're still making great work on Battlefront 2. Which I saw that post about the new content comment, and I was really happy to see that, and to actually feel happy about what DICE are adding to that game. Now, is that a... Oh, alibis. Taste grenade. Between a grenade and a hard place. Whoa!
Oh, that was okay. Okay. That was stupid of me.
No, that was a wrong operate. Oh, dang it! Oh well, Maestro tastes the wrong operator, since I just sledged his evil eye.
Yeah.
Also,
so I mean, I've kind of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
all I was gonna say is that uh, through these changes, I've also kind of like looked back in like at everything else DICE has done with Battlefield 5 that either was disappointing or being weird decisions and such that I kind of look over, not necessarily overlooked, but I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about this, um, but now, as I said, this whole TTK change was really the straw that broke the camel's back, and it kind of makes me look back at Battlefield 5 and its live service in a very different light. Um, Not too dissimilar to what I've seen some people do for Bethesda after releasing Fallout 76, where they were kind of looking at their past history in a different light. So yeah, that was really all I was gonna say without going into a big tirade of here's everything wrong DICE has done or something like that.
Discovered the location of a bomb.
Yeah. What I was going to say is that I don't know. I feel weird about the fact that I just actually never played Battlefield 5, and the fact that at this point I don't think I ever will, considering the issues. Because I said this when we played Modern Warfare, is that at this point I was kind of thinking, I don't know, it's probably going to be pretty cheap. I might pick it up because I'm a fan of Battlefield. I've loved Battlefield for years. Battlefield 3 was what got me into it, and then I don't even want to know how many hours I put into 4, honestly. But then there was something about that beta for 5 that just felt off, and so then I just kind of, and yeah, to a degree I feel bad that I haven't played it like at all, but then at the same time it's like, well, I mean, it's not like I just abandoned DICE, because I mean, if anyone has really stuck up for them when it comes to Battlefront 2, it's been me and a couple of other people, because boy, have I stuck with that game. So it's not like I've abandoned them, but yeah, there's just it's upsetting to see everything, it seems like, just going wrong with Battlefield 5. It's like, who do they have in charge of the Battlefield team that's making these decisions, and how do we keep them away from Battlefront 2?
Yeah, all I know is that some months ago or something, they sent some guy that's been responsible for the FIFA games over at DICE. So I wonder if maybe that's...
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I wonder if maybe that is where everything kind of went wrong or something, or maybe there's been because I don't really know. Oh, don't want to fall down there. I don't really know how trustworthy these are, but there's been a few, like there's some site where you can kind of review companies as a workplace.
Nice.
And
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
oh, I'm gonna way to ruin the kill streak. Anyway, there's been quite a few reviews at that site where that has been fairly of people that's supposedly,
Oh my gosh.
recently left DICE and leaving negative reviews, and there are some differences between these different reviews, but one common reason or thing that I put in those are related to management. or the management. So I don't know who's in charge of Battlefield 5, but yeah, I'm definitely worried of them looking over at Battlefront 2 and being like, maybe I should go over there.
Especially since EA just had their earnings call recently or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And they said that Jedi Fallen Order exceeded their expectations, and that that traffic on Battlefront 2 had picked up a lot recently in terms of the celebration. Like it was up like I don't know, I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was up quite a degree that surprised them and myself. I'm like, oh wow, that is a lot of new traffic. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
So,
I'm happy you brought that up because I had actually forgotten about it. But I was skimming through some of the points summarized in a Reddit post,
10 seconds left.
and what's interesting is that they barely mentioned Battlefield. It's basically put in together as other when they're speaking as like they speak about Battlefront 2 and Apex Legends and Jedi Fallen Order, FIFA and Madden of course, and some others. Battlefield 5 presumably being one of those some other games. So that game doesn't really seem to be doing well either, which, well, not a big surprise. It didn't seem to sell that well back at release, but now I'm really doubting they can actually manage to turn that around as they did with Battlefront 2. Oh, he was trying to get you.
good thing I moved then.
And that I shot him in the face. Oh!
Yeah, that's one of those I've got more bullets than you moments where it doesn't matter what you do as long as I keep firing. I'm gonna get you.
I saw the barrel of his gun glitching through and he still got me.
Alright, we got a 1v1.
Ooh, I see him.
Attackers activating.
He's in the other objective room.
You're gonna have to come get me, Maestro.
He's coming. I'm tagging him.
Alright, watch him walk into the Claymore. It's kind of hidden. Yes! Yes! I knew it! Woo! Oh, I didn't realize I put that on a breakable hatch. That's awesome.
Even better.
No clutch for you this time, Mr. Maestro. He was like, haha, I'm about to win. I'm about to clutch around once again, and then boom!
Oh, no. I didn't mean to actually have the shotgun.
Oops.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Oh, this is a shotgun with an ACOG. That's not what I was expecting, but okay.
You don't usually see those.
A surprise to be sure.
But a welcome.
Yeah.
Bomb located by attackers.
Wall secured. Explosive ordnance deployed.
10 seconds to insertion. 5 seconds left. Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
So now that we've discussed other games, do we want to discuss this game now?
Yeah, we might as well, since I can't really think of anything more happy to say about those other things, and yeah, let's move on.
So, what the heck is the Siege Olympics?
Oh no.
Because I mean, sure, this game doesn't have too much story to begin with, but and so if they had just done it because the whole reason they're doing this is because they're having their big esports finals coming up pretty soon. Yeah, that's the reason they're doing this. That's fine if they want to do it just for that. But they tried to give, they're giving this a story reason to exist, which is super weird.
Yeah. And
I saw you, Buck. So giving it a story reason to exist, I find a little peculiar because. Ooh. Because Rainbow is supposed to be this super secret covert op special forces squad that goes around fighting terrorists. And so and it's not necessarily that no one doesn't know about them, but they are still covert.
oh yeah.
If they get called in, it's something that you don't want them to be in the public eye too much, because it is a super serious issue whenever they get called in. So like the Navy SEALs or stuff, they are supposed to be kind of kept secret to a degree. The team exists, but you don't necessarily know the people on the team. So cut to the Siege Olympics, the Team Rainbow Olympics, where their head decides to pour hundreds of millions of dollars into refurbishing and rebuilding the stadium, instead of putting all that money into R&D or something like that to make better guns to kill bad guys with. And then they host it, presumably for the world to attend and see all the tactics that the Spec Ops team uses to kill bad guys. So, because there's a shot in their little trailer where you have the operators come out and there's crowds cheering and roaring, and they're throwing little paint can things like they do at football matches and soccer and stuff like that. Whichever version of football you want to think I'm talking about. And they've got banners and signs that are going, "We love you, Tachanka," and stuff like that. And
Protect your bombs from being
so my question is, who are these people? Who are these people that have bought a ticket to sit in the stands for this? Is it supposed to be the Rainbow Six Siege community? I mean, is in the world of Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, is Rainbow Six Siege a video game that is helping to get the word out there about Team Rainbow? It's like, hey, play this video game based on the real life operators of Team Rainbow, or something like that, and so it's fans of this fictitious video game inside the real video game that have turned out to see their favorite operators. Is that what that is, or are these? My other thought that could actually make sense is that these are people from their CTUs, like these are military people that are in the stands, but the problem with that is that's a lot of military personnel to be in the stands right there. So if it were, in fact, military personnel in the stands, that's such a prime terrorist target right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Set up a bomb. How many key people are you gonna be killing? It doesn't make, no matter which way you slice it, none of this makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really weird. Especially, like, I don't know, because in the shots when they are actually running and shooting, I don't actually see anyone in the crowd, so I don't know if it's supposed to be a more over exaggerated, and that one I completely botched.
Over exaggerated.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. To kind of add to that effect,
A
but
well-timed adrenal surge can get an entire team back on their feet.
like it's
which is
still
where thinking
weird, even
excels.
if I'm thinking that maybe that could be the case, because there's like that trailer is also playing it really straight and like giving the context and such, and it seems to be canon.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Even if the crowds are never there and it is an over exaggerated thing, why is it in a stadium? Why'd you spend all this money on a stadium? Because no matter what, it's still in a stadium. It doesn't make sense. It's so. Honestly, it's comical. It's comical.
Yeah.
I mean, to a degree, I think this is my Outbreak, where you are so flustered and angered by Outbreak. It's like, why do we have alien zombies in the Tom Clancy verse? This doesn't make any sense. I'm like, okay, I can accept the alien zombies, but why would a super secret government task force be having an Olympics? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Like, and also the thing is that with this whole thing, Ubisoft has also kind of finally decided to drop the white masks threat. So those guys in the
not that the and again, that's one of those things. Like, yeah, this game doesn't really have much of a story to begin with, but it's like, now that we've dealt with the white mask threat, it's like, have we really? When was the last time they were even mentioned? The cutscene at the end of the tutorial missions. That's the last time they were ever mentioned. The rest of I just now noticed that Blitz has the same pair of headphones I do. That's interesting. But but it's like, when did the white masks ever come up? Because this game it's like, I mean, it's honestly, I think this game is worse than Overwatch in the we've got all these characters that are super interesting. We just do nothing with them because it's because for Overwatch being, I mean, it's such a misstep, and that's why they're finally doing Overwatch 2. I guess it's not going to be out for like another 4 years. Yeah, it's that they create all these interesting characters, and they kind of sprinkle a little, like, have you ever noticed in the TTV patron chat in the games section, whenever like the tiniest bit of lore thing comes out, everyone always freaks out for about an hour, and then it just goes silent again until it happens again. Everyone's like, lore, and it's like it's like a shark feeding frenzy. Everyone circles and the waters get bloody, and then they dissipate, and then they're like, man, this lore sucks, and then they move on, and then they wait like 3 months for the cycle to happen again. It's like Rainbow Six Siege is actually worse than that, because when was the last time we really got any sort of lore out? Because I mean, I suppose technically speaking, we do get lore on a regular basis whenever the new operators come out, because it's like, here's the new operators. Here, here's what they're about. Here's their backstory. We get lore on them, but why are they really joining Team Rainbow? I don't know. I guess Ash is upset that a PMC has joined Team Rainbow recently. Other than that, and now they're having an Olympics. I mean, that's the story of Rainbow.
Mute is a key
The story of Rainbow Six Siege, ladies and gentlemen. It's what story? And not to mention that Rainbow Six Quarantine is going to be a thing at some point.
Oh. Don't remind me.
Yeah, that's one of those things. It's like, okay, is that a game that's going to be coming out this generation or next generation? Since we're so close with the new consoles at this point, and because there was that like week of delays where every game that was supposed to be coming out this spring got pushed back to fall, which I thought was actually absolutely hilarious. And especially the one I found funniest was Marvel's Avengers.
Oh yeah.
because there are Lego sets out for that game now. I have one of them. They made Lego sets to come out to help advertise that game. And now the game won't be out until September. So there's just to an outside observer, there's just now these random Avengers sets on store shelves that don't really tie into anything, and they're not going to realize it's the thing until I smashed my own Prisma. I'm so upset.
Oh. Meanwhile, I managed to rescue one of my jammers in the nick of time from bandits' car batteries.
Oh, this is funny. Loka, come over here. Come over here. Look at this.
Tactical. Tactical place.
Say again, we were just complaining about Siege and its lack of story, but hey, the devs know how to have fun. They know how to have a joke, which is oh, I tricked one. It's a Twitch.
Oh, that weirdly enough made me remind something else about Battlefield 5, but I'll get to it later. About Avengers, that wasn't even the thing about delays that I was thinking about, since it was supposed to release in April, which was the same month as Cyberpunk 2077, which is probably one of the big games that really are getting hyped up by the gamers. And that was also supposed to release in April. Marvel's Avengers get delayed to September. Q Cyberpunk getting delayed to September as well.
Yeah, it's funny. All the games that were supposed to come out in the spring got delayed to the fall, but they all got delayed to the exact same time frame when they would have been coming out around each other in spring anyway.
Yeah.
So it's super funny.
So the funniest thing I've seen about, I think it was Ben that actually posted a GIF of with the text saying Marvel's Avengers be like after Cyberpunk gets delayed, and then it's a GIF of Thor screaming no.
Yeah.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
And there was something about Siege I was gonna say. Oh yeah, like with the white masks, they've done literally nothing since the game came out with the Bartlett University thing. And now, like, it's so weird with the way some of the things Harry says. It like I don't know if it's a case of we took all of them out, or
10 seconds left before
no, they didn't take them out. They're still in the game. You can still play. You can still fight them in terrorist time.
Yeah, but I mean as a major threat, story-wise. So I either they just kind of off-screen or something like that, remove the threat, or it's or Siege is getting a semi-rebooted, and some of the things Harry says in that Siege Olympics trailer kinda sounds like
About to scan the area.
it's implied that he's putting Rainbow back together for the Siege Olympics. Like, I don't think that's the case, but it's...
He's putting them back together after they had already been put back together?
No, that it might... Like, my line of thinking was more that it would be retconned, that they weren't put together for the white masks, since that's not a thing, but they were put together for the Siege Olympics, but I don't know about that, but it kinda sounds like that when you watch the trailer. So I'm just majorly confused. On the bright side, I've seen some, well, I haven't actually seen the evidence, but Outbreak may not be canon after all.
Defender is approaching a kill zone.
But Rainbow Six Quarantine, man, that's still coming.
I don't care what Ubisoft will say about that game. I don't. Whoa, that's Ash. I'm gonna assume it's Ash's fever dream or something.
And see, if this were any other tactical shooter, like let's say this was, oh, okay, you know, here's an oldie. Here's an oldie. Let's say this were SOCOM.
Ooh, no, that's.
I don't think we would really be that. Let's call this the alternative title for this game: SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs Tactical Strike Siege. Let's call it that. Kind of a mouthful, but
yeah.
But let's say it was called that. I'm not really sure anyone would be too upset over the fact that there's not that much story in this game.
Yeah.
Because SOCOM wasn't really a game anyone ever cared about for the story. It was the tactical gameplay, and this game would continue the trend of having said tactical gameplay.
Yeah.
Where because this is a Tom Clancy title. Story's always kind of been important for him. Not that he cares too much anymore, considering he's dead, but I'm sure his estate... Actually, you know, I'm sure his estate doesn't really care that much anymore. This game makes loads of money, so...
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Locate and defuse bombs.
Yeah, I think at least the early Clancy games, I would say, actually kind of falls closer to the SOCOM of, like, there is some sort of plot, but there isn't, like, it's more well, it's basically SOCOM, but I feel since Splinter Cell they've kind of been more narratively focused and such. And I mean, well, I don't, since I know the Vegas games were pretty narrative based, and Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2 and such, and well, everything really. So I
of course, one thing I think about is the fact that oh dear, the entire enemy team just got hit for friendly fire.
Oh no!
Look at all the red triangles.
Oh no! Oh, did he pull a peel?
No, because there'd have to be a hot to pull a peel. So.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Ooh, they just busted in somewhere.
Oh. Oh yeah.
Nice. Ooh. Okay.
I'm
going to be toxic. I'm going for it.
Oh no.
Defender has left the designated staging area.
I did it. I killed Fuse.
Nice.
I should have thrown my goon mine at him, though, instead of shooting him over the pistol. That would have been total BM. Whoa! No, okay, Nock's still out there.
Oh no.
I think Bandit's going for her. He's gonna jump out the window.
Yeah, he's going for. Oh, she's shooting at me. Also, do not go full auto with this.
Defender is approaching a kill zone.
Where'd she go?
Defender has been discovered.
I'm gonna be even more toxic.
Man, she really gave you guys the runaround.
Oh wait, I'm hearing breaching charge somewhere. Ah!
Mini A10 warthog to the face works every time. Bird.
Don't mess with the bird.
Precision strike inbound. The only thing that could make modern, besides the obvious issues we've already talked about today, the only thing that could make Modern Warfare 2019 even better is if they put in the Modern Warfare 2 announcers.
Yeah.
At this point.
100%, yeah. Enemies 130 above!
Ah, it's so good.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Speaking of siege,
Oh, so there's
Oh,
a
no.
team kill.
Bomb located by attackers.
Considering they have every form of monetization available,
Oh yeah.
I was hoping that they were actually gonna scale back on at least the season pass, because some time ago there was some news that
5 seconds left.
the I forget their titles, but
Attackers moving to defuse a bomb.
basically the people in charge of this game were gonna move on to new projects, so newer people would take over, which might sound worrying, but apparently these new people have been working with the senior people to kind of get a feel for everything, and then kind of pick up the torch. One of the things that was mentioned that they were gonna aim for a more, I'm not really sure how to put it exactly, especially considering the word being used, something about more inclusive player base, which I assume means something about, oh, that's someone. Kill, which I assume might have meant being like, because I don't think this game is really. How did I miss that? Oh, dang it. Yeah, I kinda assumed that meant in terms of new players, because I feel bad for anyone trying to get into the game right now, considering all the operators that you have to really grind for.
Yeah, like when we were helping out Lewis last stream, and the fact that he had to play most of it as a recruit. It's like, I mean, that was really the thing that it's like, okay, this December it will have been 5 years since this game launched.
Yeah,
we're 5 years into this thing, and you don't allow the base game operators to just be playable right off the bat. Why? I don't understand why they made that change. That's so dumb.
Yeah.
Because again, like I said last stream, it made sense when they said, "Hey, all of the base game operators are going to be available from the word go." It's like, "Oh, that's a good change. I'm glad they did that." And then like a year and a half later, they said, "Okay, we're going back to the way it was." I'm like, "Why are you going back to the way it was?" If anything, at this point, the year one DLC operators need to be available for use right off the bat too.
Yeah. So I was really hoping that wording meant that maybe they're gonna ditch the season pass and maybe do a more Overwatch approach with new operators. Of course, they have released a year 5 season pass, so that's kind of shut down, unfortunately. There were also some concerns for people being like, wait, so we're gonna have a yearly season pass and quarterly battle passes to pay as well? What about those that
on top of loot box packs?
Yeah. So a lot of people were like, oh, but people that buy the season pass should have the battle passes included, or at least get a discount.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, which I think they get a discount. I know they progress faster on the battle pass at least, but here's what's probably at least what I find most interesting. Of course, we don't really know a lot about year 5 since, well, the Invitational are on their way, and that's where we will find out more info about. Especially
still, what, 3 weeks away at this point.
I'm not
okay,
sure.
So as we're talking here, I've just discovered another issue with the whole stadium thing. So
oh, no.
I'm watching you. You're trying to get this Legion. Your scope is going right to the seats.
Oh yeah.
So the spectators that would be watching this event
dead.
In situations like this, they'd be dead. They'd be very dead. So
dead.
less sense than it already made, because you're just shooting at the spectators. I mean, if they had done a thing where they had changed what the rounds looked like and made like the attacker rounds look blue and the defenders orange, so that way you can say, oh, they're shooting paintballs at each other, I'd buy that. But no, you're just fully capable of shooting the spectators in the face.
To be fair, the multiplayers are some sort of simulation, and they did write into the lore for this one that each operator is equipped with some sort of vest underneath all their other equipments that's supposedly emulating like them being shot somewhere, if I remember correctly. But still, it's so they're not using live bullets, but it's still questionable at the very least. Or was I? Oh yeah, the thing that interests me the most about the year 5 season pass is that the people who buy it are only gonna get I say people that buy it, this is gonna affect. Well, this is a thing for everyone that's playing the game. It seems we're only gonna get 6 operator for year 5.
Yeah, that's two less than usual.
Yeah, and there are 2 things that I feel popping into my head when I saw that. Like, oh, only 6 operators. One is kind of related to what I've seen within the community, specifically complaints about how they feel this game is getting less and less content for every season, while also the amount of monetizations increase. Well, for the longest time they would also come with brand new weapons, and in year 5 every season came with a new map as well, and that was also supposed to be how year 2 would work, but then Operation Health happened, so one map were cancelled. And then with year 3, we've started getting less new maps and more map reworks.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I'm going for it. I'm a madman. I'm planting the diffuser right now.
Oh. Oh, I see Clash.
Ash, you
and
idiot!
Maestro. Oh,
nice! Oh, woo! All of a sudden, I just realized, oh, it says I could plant the diffuser right here. That's awesome. That's a way to win around. So yeah, we're getting less operators this time around.
Yeah. And also, as I was leading into how we've gotten less maps in favor of map reworks, which I'm fine with. I feel
as long as the map reworks are good, because I would rather have original Hereford than the one we've got now.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I feel like the recent map reworks have been better, at least.
They have.
But then also in year 4, what a lot of people have kind of complained about. I'm not entirely sure where I personally stands on this, but
oh no.
What?
It looked like Kaid was about to blow up himself and Ella, but then Ella shot the C4.
Oh.
So my drone runs around the corner, and all of a sudden C4 just lands right in front of it, prompting my "oh no!" And then it got shot. I'm like, "Oh, okay, never mind."
10 seconds to go.
Yeah.
5 seconds left.
Yeah, because with year 4, there's also been less new weapons, which some people feel makes the new operators less exciting, and also I guess the idea of less content.
I don't necessarily think that a lack of new weapons is what makes the new operators less exciting. I think it's more the fact that that an entire season's worth of operators just kind of were useless. I'm looking at you, Nock and Warden.
Yeah. I don't really think the weapons are the issue, but I can kind of see where people are coming from in that, we used to have this amount of content throughout previous years, but now we're getting less and less new content, but we're getting more microtransactions instead. The second thing that was kind of getting into my mind with that we're only getting 6 operators is that maybe that means we're gonna get some operator reworks this season. Or this year, I mean. Which, if that's the case, we're unfortunately gonna look at a Tachanka rework, which makes me really sad.
That's one of those. It's like, how are they going to rework them? What are they going to do?
I think something I've seen that could be a case, and what may or may not be a leak, I don't remember exactly, but instead of having a mounted turret, he could instead have the LMG as his primary weapon, but and I'm still not entirely sure about if that would work.
Well, he would. I mean, he's already slow enough as it is. I mean, it's like, and the thing is, because there are several operators that have LMGs. The thing that makes Fuse unique is that he's got the shield on top of the LMG. So how would they? Because if they just give him the LMG as his primary now instead of being his ability, then what does his replacement ability become? So
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know how that would work. Honestly, Tachanka at this point just needs to remain exactly as he is, just for the balance of the game and as the meme at the exact same time. Because that's what. Because let's face it, he still clutches rounds. He still has the ability to clutch rounds the same as any other operator, and the fact that he's never been changed since the game launched just makes it all the more better. It's like, here comes Nock with her stealth tech and and these fancy gadgets. But then here's a very tall, very loud Russian with a very old gun mounted on a stick, and he's the one that ends up winning. It's like that. It's like, here's Alibi with holograms. She gets taken out of the fight immediately, but the Russian is the one that ends up saving the day. Speaking of which, I'm just to prove the point. Let's go. Tachanka time, here we come.
Time for our Lord and Savior.
If anyone needs a rework, it's Warden and some of the newer operators they've released that are just useless. It's like no one uses Warden. No one. I see Nock occasionally, but nowhere to the extent of some of the others. It's just
yeah. So a few minutes ago I got a message from Daxter asking if he could join.
Bomb located by attackers.
I'm not really sure how much longer we're gonna go. We've been going for...
It's almost 4 o'clock at this point, so we've been going for close to 3 hours, and we'd be going, and we'd be going for over that. So
yeah, the timer on my screen says 2.5 hours. So I'm not sure how much longer we're gonna go. It's also Sunday night for me.
Yeah.
And I like to get up at a reasonable time, so Ooh, someone destroyed my thing.
Alright, Jackal, come and get me, I dare you. Oh!
Oi.
Nice! Nice! I dared him.
Save the Lord. No matter the cost.
I'm reloading.
Alright, you keep a watch on that hallway. I'll keep a watch on this window. Oh, Jackal had the diffuser. Sweet.
Yep.
I just now noticed that.
That's also why I planted the Vulcan there, so when we're getting closer to
IQ's down.
on the clock, we can use that to make sure they don't get the diffuser.
That was a good headshot. Overtime match point. Let's go.
Oof.
The only thing, just as long as we don't have teammates that are idiots this time. Like, I don't know what happened last attack round, where it seemed like the last two people just ran around with chickens with their heads cut off until they got picked off one by one.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
That is the fact that they put it in a stadium and then they have the announcer do his stuff over the loudspeaker. That I like. It's like, okay, that fits the map. That's a cool feature. I like that you did that, even though the rest of this doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Bomb located by attackers.
Haha, Vigil.
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds to insertion. Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
So after this match, should we call it a day or go for one
Probably.
more? Oh no!
Oh no! Wow, you got some airtime. You landed all the way over here on my screen. That's so your guns are here, you're over there, and I guess. Oh gosh. Well, I don't know. Maybe we do want to do one more, just so that we don't. No matter what happens, we don't end it with Loka getting blown to bits and him having to spectate me. Whoa! Okay, Buck, careful there, buddy. Oh, that is a person.
Oof.
Like, was that a person? Oh, that was a person. Yep. Figure it out. That was a person. Alright, Fuse, you know they're in there.
Also, speaking of Old Hereford, this map is apparently a combination of Hereford and
Oregon.
Oregon, yeah.
Yeah, that moment when a combo of two maps, an old version of is still better than the current version of Hereford. Yeah, well, the Canadian-Russian combo here might be able to clutch it. I need to get a move on. They got 30 seconds left, though. Whoa! Whoa! Oh, Valkyrie! You're an idiot! How did you not kill Fuse there?
15 seconds to go. 10 seconds left.
Oh my gosh, they did it! They did it!
Oh.
Fuse's methods may be divisive, but there's no denying their force or efficacy.
That's funny. Fuse's methods may be controversial, but there's no denying their force or efficiency.
That's true. Oh.
Well, we managed to pull out a win. I'm good at ending there if you are.
Yeah, it's almost 11 p.m. so probably good place to wrap up.
I don't know how that Valkyrie didn't kill Fuse.
Me neither.
That should have been an easy kill for her. I mean, that was almost a Call of Duty run and then switch and then hit the circle button to go into a slide surprise maneuver that happens occasionally. So I don't know how she didn't kill him immediately. Oh, but that had to have been a throw a controller halfway across the room in anger after they didn't get that kill moment right there.
Yeah. Ooh, we were addressing the battle pass, and I just pulled it up just to check, and I have to say, this might well, granted this isn't even for a whole season. It's just during this whole road to the 6 invitationals. But could this be the worst battle pass I've seen so far? Because there's
Essentially, yeah.
basically nothing on the free track. I mean, there's really usually not that much on the free track in like not in Modern Warfare either, or Fortnite or Apex or every other game. But this kind of just feels worse somehow. I just don't. Yeah, as you can tell,
I looked at it. It's not great.
I also have questions considering this is. No, I was about to say, considering they're putting invitational, Siege Olympic related skins in this, maybe they're gonna do that for future events, but then I realized, oh wait, this is specifically for the Siege events anyway, and also it's Ubisoft. Of course they're gonna do loot boxes at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
because at least because I mean, I've actually been pleasantly surprised with how much I'm actually kind of enjoying going through the Modern Warfare Battle Pass, even despite the thing that happened. Is that because even though I don't care about literally any of the skins that it's been given me or stuff like that, including weapon skins, it still on the regular gives me stuff like new little charms to put on my guns and XP boosts for a certain amount of time. So it's like, oh, I can rank up faster because of this and stuff like that. So and then it helps me through challenges that are fun to do. So and then occasionally there might be and there's nothing so far, but I don't know. Next season maybe, because essentially, like I said, I think I'll probably be able to get next season's battle pass for free, with the credits that go with the Call of Duty points I've got. So I don't know. Maybe next season there'll be a ghost skin. It just hypothetically, it's like, I don't think so. I think that's something they're going to save for like story stuff for later in this game that comes out with Spec Ops, or it's going to be a Modern Warfare 2 2021, probably. I guess that'd be the year. Or hopefully it would be a Modern Warfare subtitle and not Modern Warfare 2 again. It's like, no, don't do this. It's getting confusing. It's been confusing. It'd be even more confusing. Yeah. So, but I don't know. There might be a skin I like then that I would give the battle. So, I mean, but I think there's enough in there that even if you don't really like weapon skins all that much, and you're more of a cosmetic skin person, or if you're not that much for the character skins and you like the weapon skins, or if you don't like any of that, then it still gives you the XP boost and stuff like that. So there is a nice mix of stuff in there to get, which is nice.
Yeah. I was kind of taken aback by, by whoever dropped the F-bomb.
Oh gosh, did that come through? That's the
Well,
I heard that. I was like, oh, please tell me that wasn't audible. Oh, great.
Well, he's
probably got his own headset and he's playing his own game.
It's still better than me reading a text in Metro Exodus and halfway and almost saying the F word until I realized halfway through reading that because that's the thing, I was reading it as I went along, and as I came through the first two syllables, like, oh no. Anyway, that was the, I guess, annual Siege Olympics. There was this bit of stuff last year, but kind of different at the same time. And I assume this is gonna be annual Siege Olympics. That's something to look forward to, I guess. Anyway, yeah, that was Siege Olympics. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I should also be more back on track, really, since there was that...
A little more frequent.
Yeah, exactly. Still kind of undecided on whether I should be, for next week I'm gonna play, because that seemed... I don't know, I feel that can change. However, I'm feeling pretty confident about this one, because one of the ideas I had that I could maybe play for this weekend instead of Siege was something World War I related, because this weekend...
Oh yeah, I saw you get a trophy for that.
Happened to in Sweden be the opening weekend for 1917, which I went and saw yesterday, and it was great. Now, when Prentice approached me with the "Are you doing Siege for this weekend?" I still hadn't decided whether decided what to play. I had World War I themed games in mind, but by the time he messaged me, I still hadn't. Basically, the plan whether I would see the movie this weekend or maybe sometime during the next week hadn't been set. So
it sounds like everything kind of worked out for the best.
Yeah, exactly. And also because I realized, because the first game that I had in mind, I wasn't really sure if that would work well for a streaming, since I didn't really get around to play it until today. And also I had a backup game in mind, but that would be needed to be reinstalled. So as you said, it kind of worked out in the end with Siege instead. So for next weekend, I'm pushing up the World War One thematics, and I'm most likely gonna play a game called Verdun, which I bought on sale for a long time ago, thinking like, oh, maybe this could be interesting. And then I went on to play it, and it seemed pretty dead. So I was like, oh, I guess not. That's unfortunate. However, at the end of last year, they released a what they called remastered update for the console versions. Now that is a bit of a misleading title in that it's not a remaster of the graphics, but they brought in a whole bunch of new content that had already been released on PC for, well, long time ago, and finally now getting it to consoles. And I played a little bit of it today, and it seemed like it could be an interesting game. And it seemed to have been somewhat revived. There wasn't a whole bunch of players suddenly, like there were less than 100. And I don't think the game I got into was full, but it was enough to still kind of feel like I was playing the game as it should be. So next game likely gonna be Verdun. If I, for whatever reason, decide that, nah, I'm not sure if I want to stream this, it's the other alternative would be Battlefield 1, since that's World War 1 themed, and also it could be nice to go back to an older Battlefield game that I enjoyed. Might also be fitting, considering I think the next chapter for Battlefield 5 actually releases next week. But yeah, for now I'm thinking probably Verdun, and then we will see what happens from there. Now that's been too long-winded, so let's wrap this up pretty quickly. I have been joined by Apprentice1215.
I was trying to think how they usually end the Olympics, but I just remembered that I've never actually really watched the Olympics, so I guess this is just the moment where the person with the medal just kind of throws it in the trash bin because it's kind of worthless when at the end of the day when you think about it, and they just kind of leave. So walks out door.
You can of course go to Prentice's YouTube channel and check out some gaming related content, but probably more important Lego related content like stop motion series and such.
You can comment on any of it.
What?
Not that you can comment on any of it.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Curse you, Kappa!
So don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff, and until next time, bye or farewell, whichever one I was kind of saying first.